There is a place in the tennis world where the usual rules simply do not apply. A place where billionaires watch matches from their super yachts. The actual royal family hands you the silver, and the entire tournament's location is one giant illusion. Welcome to the Monte Carlo Masters. For over a century, this hasn't just been a tennis tournament. It has been a royal battlefield. But behind the glitz, the glamour, and the champagne lies a history filled with pure, unadulterated madness. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the most beautiful, dramatic, and downright bizarre stories this legendary club has ever seen. We are talking about a legend who tried to conquer the modern era with a wooden weapon, a bitter feud that circled around hospital IV drips and doping accusations, the local underdogs rising up to defy the odds, a court jester who suddenly became a king, and the historic records that are on the line in this year's edition. Forget everything you think you know about the clay season. This is Monte Carlo like you've never seen it before.
Game, start, match.
Do you know which name is linked to 10 titles here in Monte Carlo? It's not Nadal, it is Doherty. The legendary Doherty brothers, Reginald and Lawrence, ruled the old days, combining for a staggering 10 titles. But as already mentioned, the red clay of the Riviera is linked to another name, which is more present, Rafael Nadal. His dominance here wasn't just a run, it was a reign. Rafa captured an incredible 11 singles titles here, including 8 in a row. Along the way, he achieved a mind-blowing 46-match winning streak at this single tournament, winning 8 years in a row, a feat second only to Martina Navratilova's legendary 47 consecutive wins at Wimbledon. But Rafa didn't just conquer the singles draw. In 2008, he even took home the doubles crown. His legacy is literally built into the architecture of the city. If you have a few thousand euros to spare, you can stay in the official Nadal suite at the Monte Carlo Bay Hotel. It's a shrine to the King of Clay, complete with his match-worn shirts, rackets, and shoes displayed like crown jewels. In the doubles world, the Bryan brothers made a jaw-dropping 9 finals here, taking home the trophy 6 times. And more recently, Stefanos Tsitsipas emerged as a modern dominator, claiming the throne 3 times. But in the end, Monte Carlo will always belong to the Monegasque Majesty of Rafael Nadal. Monaco is famous for its tennis residents, superstars who move here for the weather, the luxury, and let's be honest, the tax benefits. But for the longest time, the actual locals, the players born and raised here, representing the red and white flag, were just footnotes in the tournament's history. Well, not anymore. The Monegasque players are officially having a revolution. Let's start with the doubles. Last year, in 2025, a wildcard pair sent the local crowd on Cour Rainier 3 into absolute madness. Local hero Romain Arnaud teamed up with Frenchman Manuel Guinard. They weren't supposed to win, but they fought their way to the final, saved 2 championship points, and Arnaud became the first Monegasque champion in the 118-year history of the tournament. The emotion in the president's box and the stands was unlike anything this quiet club usually sees. But if you want a true Cinderella story, we have to look at singles. Enter Valentin Vachereau. For years, Vachereau was grinding in the challengers, far away from the glitz of the main tour. But last fall in Shanghai, the world stood still. Vachereau arrived as an alternate in qualifying. He wasn't even supposed to play at all. He survived qualifying and then proceeded to go on one of the most absurd runs in Masters 1000 history. He knocked out seeds left and right, including the legend Novak Djokovic himself. In the final, he faced his own cousin, Arthur Rinderknecht, in a historic family affair, making Vachereau the lowest-ranked Masters champion ever. Now, coming into this year's clay season, Vachereau is no longer just a local wild card. He is Monaco's ultimate hope. Keep your eyes on him, because playing in front of his home crowd with this newly found confidence, he is going to be incredibly dangerous. Welcome to one of the greatest illusions in tennis. For over a century, the Monte Carlo Masters has been the crown jewel of the tiny, ultra-wealthy Principality of Monaco. But here's the reality check. The tournament isn't even in Monaco. The famous Monte Carlo Country Club is actually located in France, in a commune called Roquebrune-Cap-Martin. Because Monaco is so densely packed with high-rises and luxury hotels, there simply wasn't enough room to build a massive tennis complex. So they just crossed the border by a few hundred meters, and the illusion doesn't stop with the geography. You see, this is a Masters 1000 event. At every other Masters 1000 on the calendar, top players are obliged to show up or face heavy penalties. But Monte Carlo is the only exception. Technically, players have a choice, but honestly, they all love to play here anyway. Between the pristine views and the prestige, nobody wants to miss out on that.
The king of clay remains.
If Monte Carlo is a royal court, Fabio Fognini was its ultimate jester, brilliant, incredibly talented, but deeply unpredictable. He could play like a god one minute and completely lose his mind the next. But Fognini had a secret weapon. He grew up in San Remo, Italy, just 50 minutes down the road. He had spent years playing on these exact courts and was completely familiar with every weird bounce and sea breeze the venue could throw at him. In 2019, the Jester decided he wanted the crown. Fognini arrived in Monaco with a disastrous 1-6 record on the year. No one expected him to do any damage, yet he went on a magical run. In the semifinals, he did the unthinkable. He absolutely dismantled the king himself, Rafael Nadal, in straight sets. A day later, the man known for his on-court antics lifted the trophy. In one unforgettable week, Fabio Fognini went from the court jester to the true king of Monte Carlo. Long before the Big Three, Monte Carlo was the arena for legendary feuds and bizarre equipment choices. Let's look at 1995. Boris Becker and Thomas Muster went to war in the final. Muster had been hospitalized and hooked up to an IV drip for dehydration just the night before. Yet, he came back, saved 2 match points, and defeated Becker in a grueling 5-set epic. Becker was so shocked, he made doping insinuations and got slapped with a hefty fine. Ironically, Monte Carlo was actually one of only 3 tournaments where Becker ever won a clay title, and all 3 came in doubles, 2 in his residing cities of Munich and Monaco, and 1 at the Olympics. He just couldn't crack the singles code on dirt. Then, there is the legendary Bjorn Borg. Borg played his penultimate match in Monte Carlo in 1983, losing to Henri Leconte, and then lost to Leconte again in 1984 before he decided to retire. But the real craziness happened in 1991. After 7 years away from the tour, at 34 years old, Borg decided to make a comeback right here in Monaco. And the crazy part? While the rest of the world was using high-tech, powerful graphite rackets, Borg stepped onto the court holding a tiny, outdated wooden racket. He faced Jordi Areza in his first match back and was simply overpowered. The game had moved on, and Borg's wooden weapon belonged in a museum, not on the red clay of Monaco. Welcome to the most exclusive neighborhood in professional sports. For most players on tour, a Masters 1000 means private jets, hotel suites, and living out of a suitcase. But in Monte Carlo, for half of the top 20, it's just a home game. Novak Djokovic, Jannik Sinner, Daniil Medvedev, Alexander Zverev, they don't just play here, they live here. During the tournament week, while the rest of the world is staring at the luxury from afar, these guys are literally commuting to work on an e-scooter or taking a 5-minute stroll from their penthouses to the clay. It's the only time of the year they get to sleep in their own beds. And believe me, that home turf advantage is real. But the stars aren't just on the court, they're everywhere in the stands. Monte Carlo is the ultimate see and be seen event. Look closely at the front row and you won't just see tennis fans, you'll see the entire Formula One grid, since most of them live just a few blocks away. And then there's the actual royalty. This isn't a tournament where the trophies are handed out by a corporate sponsor. Here you receive your silver from Prince Albert II himself. The royal family isn't just a figurehead. They are die-hard fans. Prince Albert is in his seat almost every single day, bringing a level of prestige you simply won't find in Indian Wells or Cincinnati. But perhaps the most Monte Carlo thing of all, the yachts. The center court, Rainier Trois, is designed so that the Mediterranean serves as the backdrop. During the changeovers, the TV cameras often forget about the players and zoom in on the $100 million super yachts anchored just offshore. It's loud, it's flashy, and it's a bit ridiculous, but that's exactly what makes the Billionaire's backyard a very unique stop on the ATP Tour. And that brings us to our final chapter. Let's look at the massive stories and records on the line in this year's edition. Let's check out what's up for grabs. First up, Jannik Sinner. He is currently trying to extend his jaw-dropping 34-set winning streak at the Masters 1000 level. Can anyone actually take a set off the Italian machine on this dirt? Then there's Carlos Alcaraz. After finding his footing on the clay, Alcaraz is currently sitting on an 11-match win streak on Masters 1000 clay events. But he has his sights set on the ultimate peak, chasing down Rafael Nadal's historic 31-match win streak on Masters 1000 clay tournaments. He is still a long way off, but every win counts. And finally, the local dream. Valentin Vachereau is playing with the hopes of an entire nation on his shoulders. He is aiming to become the first ever Monegasque winner on home soil in the singles draw. The stakes are high, the court is pristine, and the drama is guaranteed.
It's out!
Let me know in the comments below, who is your pick to lift the trophy this year? And which record is most likely to be broken? Vachereau's Shanghai run wasn't the only unexpected win of a big title in the recent years. If you want to know which wildcard achieved glory at Indian Wells, check out my last video. You can find the link right here. Thanks for watching this episode of the most beautiful tournament on the calendar. If you like this kind of deep dive, you know the drill. Smash the like button better than Taylor did here. You can also share it with friends, foes, or tennis bros. But for this week, I'm out!